We're here today to announce that Indiana has, in fact, received its first case of coronavirus.
Now at 5, Indiana joins the growing number of states with a case of coronavirus. What we're learning about the patient and the steps you need to be taking now.
And big sporting events taking place in Indianapolis now and in the coming weeks. The steps being taken to keep you safe in light of today's news.
While a lot of focus is on the coronavirus, the flu is still a big health concern as well. New numbers out today show a big jump in deaths.
It's cold now. I'll detail 3 big changes for the weekend in addition to the time change.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Coronavirus is now in Indiana. The patient, a man who was treated and now released from Community Hospital North in Marion County. Good evening to you. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starrentino. Right now, the state and Marion County health departments are emphasizing the risk to the general public is minimal. But Governor Holcomb did take the step of declaring a public health emergency to get the necessary federal funds to respond and be ready.
We are digging into this news from all angles with our focus on what this means for your health and safety. We begin with RTV6's Nicole Griffin outside of Community North Hospital with what we know about the patient.
Mark and Amanda, tonight we know that patient is a man who lives right here in Marion County. He is not here tonight at Community Hospital North, but this is where he came last night. After tests were run, this was confirmed as the state's first case of coronavirus. Now tonight, health officials tell us the risk to the public is just minimal at this point because of steps both the patient and health officials took to protect him.
The team at Community North was textbook in their treatment of this person, but it was because they were called ahead, warned that this person was coming.
At 11:37 Thursday night, a patient arrived at Community Hospital North suspecting he had symptoms of the coronavirus.
Once he came, he stayed only in the parking lot. At that time, our caregivers, dressed in the appropriate infectious disease precaution material, received him.
The man, who is not being identified at this time, recently traveled to Boston for a work conference.
Did not go to the conference, but is a contractor that works closely.
State Health Commissioner Chris Bach says the patient had contact with people at the event where positive cases have been identified. He returned home to Indianapolis on March 4th.
This individual had developed some very mild symptoms, actually. I think a sore throat, low-grade temperature, 100 point something, and the individual also was developing a little bit of a cough.
Before arriving at the hospital Thursday night, he called the State Department of Health. He was taken through a side entrance at Community North to avoid contact with other patients and hospital staff members who were not in protective gear. After testing, it was confirmed as the state's first presumptive positive case of COVID-19.
I want to reassure you that no patients, no other caregivers were exposed to this individual. Because of that, I want to state, especially for the patients that are at any hospitals today, that they should still feel comfortable that their loved ones are safe. There's no risk of them getting infected right now.
At 2:30 Friday morning, the patient was transferred to a location that is not being made public, where he is in isolation. Health officials say his case is considered mild. Official testing will now be completed by the CDC. And tonight, Community Hospital says they don't see any evidence based on how this case was handled of the virus spreading here at the hospital. They also say that the Marion County Health Department will now be working to get several questions answered, including what flight that man was on and who he's been in contact with. Reporting live tonight, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
Nicole, thank you. Health officials want you to be aware of the symptoms of COVID-19 or coronavirus. The virus is thought to be mainly spread by coughs and sneezes from person to person in close contact with each other. The CDC says symptoms may appear in as few as 2 days or as long as 14 days after exposure. Symptoms can include a fever, a cough, or shortness of breath. And again, most cases are mild unless a patient has another underlying health condition. If you think you may have been exposed and you are showing some of those symptoms, health officials say you should call your doctor or healthcare provider before you seek medical help. That way you can limit exposure to other people.
And Indianapolis is is hosting some major sporting events this month, so we are working to figure out how this confirmed case will impact those events and what is being done to keep you safe. Megan Sanctorum is live outside of Bankers Life now, where the women's Big Ten tournament is currently underway. Megan.
Yeah, well, that confirmed case of the coronavirus does not seem to be stopping fans here at Bankers Life, and leaders with the arena say they are ready and prepared to host. Extra precautions are underway here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse as leaders work to protect fans and keep them safe for March basketball. You'll notice signs with health tips on them and extra hand sanitizer around the building. You may also notice extra employees wiping down all of the surfaces that fans touch. Leaders here say they do a good job of that on a regular basis, but they're doing it more frequently now as a precaution. We asked fans if a confirmed case of the coronavirus here in Indiana would impact their plans at all.
It's definitely a concern, but I think people are kind of panicking a little bit more than they should be, because I think that, the regular influenza is just as bad, worse.
Probably sanitize my hands a little bit more, but besides that, typically don't get sick too much in the wintertime, so we always wash our hands and, cough in our arms. It's kind of the common sense type thing. So
we talked about it. We're not overly concerned. I mean, we're assuming that it's going to arrive. We're from Bloomington, so we're assuming it's going to arrive more in our state and in our town, and we're just going to practice best safe practices and just continue doing whatever we want to do.
Leaders here say they hope fans continue to follow guidelines set out by the health department. They, too, are staying in constant communication with health leaders, and they say at this point, there is no reason to believe any cancellations or changes will be made when it comes to events here.
We're taking the advice of the Marion County Health Department and the state of Indiana. At this point, it is their advice that mass gathering events continue, and so we'll continue to stay in touch with them, and we will, this, I think, situation will continue to evolve, but we anticipate holding all of our events as normal.
We will, of course, continue to monitor this situation and let you know if anything changes. Reporting live, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
And Megan, before you go, have any other arenas canceled games or changed procedures because of this virus?
Well, Amanda, we know Johns Hopkins University announced that the first few rounds of the NCAA Division III men's basketball tournament will be held without spectators. So anybody who had a ticket to those games will get a refund. Now, once again, at this point, there is no indication that that will be the case for any of the events here in Indy. Amanda?
Okay, thank you, Megan, for that update.
Well, RTV6 has been working to explore every aspect of COVID-19 ever since we first heard the word coronavirus. For example, RTV6's Rafael Sanchez found out exactly how local Indianapolis first responders will handle potential cases, and he learned they are ready for anything.
The biggest concerns for public health providers remains the flu. But with all this talk of the coronavirus, Emergency Medical Services wants people to be calm. They say they are ready.
We're ready. We are prepared as a city. The flu is still our biggest risk, especially here in Indiana, but nationwide. The flu is affecting far more people in the United States than the coronavirus. Well, again, we still recommend if you've not gotten your flu shot, please get your flu shot because the flu is still sticking around.
If you call 911 with flu symptoms, be prepared to be asked if you've traveled overseas. If you say yes, be prepared for this response in the age of the coronavirus.
The responders, once they get on scene, will then confirm with you that you have been to one of the high-risk areas. And if that happens, they're going to hand you a surgical mask, which is just good procedure in cold and flu season anyway. It's just something to put over your mouth so you limit how your exposure to other folks. We will don a little more involved personal protective equipment.
The responders would wear what we call droplet and contact isolation. One of the things we wear is a gown. It may be blue, may be yellow. And this is just if there is coughing, if there's sneezing or anything that might make droplets. This just keeps it off their clothing. The respirators our people use are reusable devices. The provider would wear, of course, gloves. This is one of multiple types of face shields. This is a disposable one. It just slips on your head.
What does this help do then? What is
This is, again, pretend now I'm the patient. If I'm ill and I cough, I make this aerosol mist of fine droplets, and those droplets stick on basically what they see, what they fly at. So this would catch those droplets so they wouldn't be sticking on your face or get in your eyes.
At the end of the day, this is a process to keep the patient and the medic safe.
Continuous, yes.
All the time.
All the time.
Indianapolis EMS is working with other agencies across the area to make sure that they're prepared as well. Working for you in Indianapolis, Rafael Sanchez, RTV6.
Rafael, thank you. And with the addition of Indiana today, the coronavirus has now spread to 20 states, according to the CDC. The states shaded in red are where the virus has been detected. There are at least 183 cases from coast to coast. And in light of today's news, a very timely special report tonight on ABC 2020 Outbreak, What You Need to Know. It is anchored by David Muir with reporting by ABC News Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Jennifer Ashton. Now, the 2-hour special begins at 9 right here on RTV6.
Throughout this process, our goal has been to educate and prepare you, not to scare you. And health officials say the best way to guard against this virus is to learn about it. We've compiled everything you need to know about COVID-19 for you in one spot, so it's easier for you to access. The IndyChannel.com/coronavirus is where you need to go. And one other note, the Dow finished in negative territory again today, but not nearly as bad as other days of the week. It was off about 260 points. Investors are trying to assess how bad and how long the economic fallout will last from the coronavirus.
And the flu is far more widespread and deadly in the United States than the coronavirus. Again, only one coronavirus illness in Indiana. But today we learned the deaths from the flu have increased to 87 in the Hoosier State. That is up from 69 last week. By far, the most deaths are in people aged 50 or over. Allen, Madison, Lake, and Marion counties all have 5 or more deaths, with Marion having the most at 16.
I think you would agree. It feels like winter again, doesn't it? Temperatures have been stuck in the mid-30s this afternoon. All of this will be in the rearview mirror rather quickly. By the time we get to Sunday, a change in wind direction will bring about a significant change in temperature. We've got that to look forward to. The wind is going to calm down this evening, especially once we get to sunset, starting to relax in the eastern portions of Illinois. But we still have a 30-mile-per-hour gust in Indianapolis and Muncie. Otherwise, mid to upper 20s as far as that wind. You got to factor that in. It makes it feel like 24 in the metro area. Temperatures, actual air temperatures above freezing. We can celebrate that. They won't be tonight. Temperature by 11 as skies gradually clear as well will drop to 30. A cold start to your weekend. Temperatures tomorrow morning in the low to mid 20s. We warm rather quickly. We'll talk about the warming trend through the weekend and when our next chance of rain shows up in just a little bit.
There is a warning out tonight for any of you who use computers. The other virus on the move and the ways it can harm your bank account if you don't protect yourself. That's all new on the Now Indy at 5:30.
And just ahead here at 5, the words President Trump used as he tours the neighborhoods hit hardest by deadly tornadoes in Tennessee, and the help on the way from the federal government. Bingo day. Wayne Township fire investigators say a fire at a vacant mobile home park appears to be suspicious. The fire this morning damaged 3 empty mobile homes at the former I-70 mobile home park on West Morris Street. We have been covering this mobile home park for months after residents were told to either move their homes or leave for good. After our reporting, the Attorney General's office stepped in to provide more time and more resources. All the residents had to be out by February 21st.
Fiat Chrysler has officially unveiled plans to make a huge investment in Kokomo and add jobs. The company will spend $400 million to repurpose its idle transmission plant in Kokomo to build a new Jeep engine. Well, as part of the investment, the company said 1,000 Indiana jobs will be retained, with 200 new jobs added to support production. The company's total employment in the state will be more than 8,300 with the new jobs. Production is expected to begin in the second quarter of 2021.
Today, President Trump traveled to tornado-ravaged Tennessee to see the deadly damage firsthand. The cleanup effort is well underway, with the White House saying there are federal dollars available to boost those efforts. ABC's Alex Prescia reports.
The damage extends for miles. Today, President Trump seeing it for himself. a deadly storm system that struck the Nashville area early Tuesday.
I have a message for the families of those that lost their lives. We love them. They're special people.
Statewide, 25 people were killed by the tornadoes. The president touring hard-hit communities in Putnam County. The tornado that tore through that area, the deadliest, claiming 18 lives. Daryl and Amy Jennings live there.
In 32 years, this is the absolute worst I've ever seen.
Now they're picking through the pieces of their former lives.
It was just, it's a war zone.
All missing residents now accounted for. Attention turning to cleanup and rebuilding. President Trump later joining the governor and local leaders at a church distributing donated supplies. The president promising more aid from the federal government.
Do you know about how much?
It to be determined what they need. We're going to take care of what they need.
We'll be doing assessments, and that helps determine what the numbers will be.
The people who live in Putnam County trying to make sense of their new normal.
The heartbreaking thing at this point is that, I mean, we're friends with most everybody in the neighborhood, and so all of the lives that have been lost, it's unbelievable. It's unfathomable.
The president said he was eager to visit Tennessee and thanked first responders for their work. Alex Brachet, ABC News, Washington.
Time now for your Storm Team 6 forecast, and things became a little bit overcast.
It was gross today.
It was a gray day.
It was just
gray
gross.
day, windy day, cold day, but we'll turn from unacceptable to much more enjoyable over the weekend. Is that one way to put it?
Sounds good.
Temperatures by Sunday back to 60 degrees or a little warmer. Let's enjoy the warm weekend, or milder weekend, and dry weekend, because the daily chance for rain returns, as you can see, early next week. Monday, rain is likely. Take a little break Tuesday. We're back to likely rain showers as we get to the middle of next week. You had some snow this morning. Lots of folks in central Indiana at least seeing the snow flurries, nothing more than a trace. You can see the swirl is now off to the east. Colder air catching that, and they too have snow showers throughout New York, Pennsylvania, into the Buckeye State, and through portions of West Virginia, back in the Hoosier State. It's about cloudy skies, windy conditions, and temperatures just above the freezing mark. We're in the mid-30s now in Indianapolis. The colder air will be pushed out of the state as we go through the next 24 hours. And you can see you don't have to go that far to the southwest, and temperatures start to come back up, especially when you get west of the Mississippi. It's a change in wind direction that will really pull that warmer air to the north gradually tomorrow, and then more significantly on Sunday. Say hello to Sadie. This is a good sign your dog wants a walk when she's rolling around playing in the family room, and it looks like she has a toy there. You go play catch inside and then take a walk outside.
Sadie looks like she's having a good day.
Yeah, she does.
It's gotten a little better for dog owners as far as cleaning off 4 paws when you go in and out of the house. The ground has been so soft. Thanks, Darlene, for sending in the pictures. With skies gradually clearing tonight, temperatures will fall into the low to mid-20s. Coldest temperature in the 7-day forecast. That occurs in the morning hours tomorrow. We'll bounce back, sunshine to the rescue, a south wind not nearly as strong as what we've had today. Then on Sunday, the wind will pick up a bit and our temperatures respond. During the morning hours tomorrow, the wind is light, but notice the flip there in the direction. Wind starts coming out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour, and that will carry the warmer temperatures our way. At noon, 44. Afternoon high temperature right at 50. And that sets the stage for our warm-up on Sunday. Temperatures above average through the state tomorrow. Then it's tomorrow night that we'll change our clocks. When you head to bed, move it ahead 1 hour. And then on Sunday, stronger wind will equal warmer temperatures. 7-day planner, temperatures peak Sunday afternoon, lower 60s. Monday with rain will still hit 60. Rain chances diminish Tuesday. They go back up on Wednesday. All of next week, temperatures 50s or warmer.
What if I move the clock ahead early, like tonight? Did I get off work earlier?
Yeah, you just shorten.
No.
Take the hit. Don't do it twice.
I don't think that's going to fly.
No, exactly. That'll be a first trip to the boss's office for that one. All right, thanks, Kevin, for that. Well, nothing wakes you up like a hot cup of coffee, or quite the opposite, a cold dip in a lake. The early morning wake-up call that raised money for more than 18,000 athletes. Next.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
Given today's wind, flurries, and cold temperatures, it was definitely not a day to take a dip in the water.
Unless it was a polar plunge, perfect conditions for that. Well, hundreds of high school students from across central Indiana braved the cold and frigid water to take a plunge in Eagle Creek Reservoir. One by one, groups of kids ran in and out of the water to help raise money for Special Olympics. The event is the group's signature fundraiser and directly benefits more than 18,000 Special Olympic athletes in Indiana.
It helps actually provide sports training, health programming, leadership training, all kinds of things for these athletes to improve their lives and really have a lot of opportunities.
Look at the difference between the way she's dressed and the way people are jumping in, right? If that looks fun for you, we are invited to take part in the community polar plunge tomorrow. Might be a little warmer and less windy. Registration starts at 8. Plunging is scheduled between 9 and 11 a.m. at Eagle Creek Park.
I think I'll donate, but stay out of the water. Still ahead on the news at 5:30. While the coronavirus is new to most of us, Butler University researchers are very familiar with it, how they are working to advance medical treatment. You're watching RTV6.